Hello and welcome to another episode of They Disappeared. I'm your host, Pat Draven. In the summer of 2021, Jamie Valdez left his Boonville, Arkansas home intending to visit his daughter who lived in a nearby town. After he drove off, he was never seen again. Days later, his car was discovered abandoned near a secluded swimming hole. The driver's seat was pushed all the way forward and torn, and the engine had been tampered with. Scrawled in the dirt on the rear window were the words, "Help me, he is near." In this episode, we look into Jamie's disappearance and the clues that were left behind, and hopefully, we can get closer to uncovering the truth of what happened to him after he left on that summer day.
Jamie was born October 25th, 1973. And before he was born, he already had three sisters. And so I was age 5. My next sister was 3. And then the next one was 2. And so he already had ready-made nannies, caretakers. He was our little baby doll that we would tote around everywhere and beg mom to get to feed him and help with him. And so he grew up just being very lovable. Everybody who's met him considers him to be a friend. He is the type of person, and I know every missing person's family says this about them, but when he would walk into a room, people would just gravitate towards him and kind of the life of the party. And for instance, last weekend, I went to his daughter's high school graduation and was talking with his stepdaughter. And he treated her just like he would his own child and just loved her. And even after she became an adult, he still maintained a relationship with her. But she would tell me that anytime that she would go to the CV's grocery store where he worked, she said as soon as she stepped in the door, she would know whether or not Jamie was working there because he worked as a butcher in the back of the store. But she could hear his laughter, which was a very contagious, gregarious type of loud laughter at the front of the store. So she would know that Jamie was there, and she'd always go back there to say hello to him and talk with him.
Jamie Valdez was well known in Boonville, Arkansas. His willingness to go out of his way to greet people he knew, as I would learn from speaking with his sister, Sean, made his sudden disappearance all the more alarming to those who knew him.
That year, even though he was pretty much homeless and didn't have a place to stay, one of his friends had told him that she didn't have any money for food for her kids. And she said he dug in both of his pockets and just emptied them out and gave her the $2 that he had on him. And he told her, "You need this more than I do," and just gave it to her.
Before he disappeared, Jamie had gotten married to his girlfriend, Anna. Their decision to marry had come after Jamie had achieved a significant milestone. After struggles with addiction, he had turned his life around and had over a year of sobriety under his belt. Jamie and Anna were living with Anna's mother, Belinda, who at the time was recovering from a back injury. Also living under the same roof was Anna's brother, Larry Carter, who is said to have had an extensive criminal history.
Her brother, who has been in prison prior for false imprisonment, which should have been actually kidnapping and attempted murder.
On June 9th of 2021, only 1 month after they got married, Jamie and Anna had made plans to spend the day together. According to Anna, she was called into work that day, which led to an argument. Jamie returned to the house, packed some clothes, and drove away. And that is the last time he was ever seen. On June 17th, a group of teenagers heading to Bluff Hole, a local swimming spot in Mulberry, Arkansas, noticed a car parked oddly on the roadside.
The reason they had gone out to the Bluff Hole was to celebrate one last hurrah before one of their group was going into boot camp. They touched the hood of the car because they were planning to do the prank and wanted to know how much time they had before somebody might be coming back.
They saw the vehicle was locked, and as a prank, wrote the words, "Help me, he is near," on the back window. 2 days later, on June 19th, Anna's boss's husband, who was also a friend of Jamie's, recognized the car while visiting nearby. He informed Anna, who then visited the site, took photos, and contacted Sean to see if she should report it to the police. The answer, of course, was yes.
He let Anna know, and when Anna got off work, he and his wife took Anna up to the vehicle where it was, and she had taken the picture of what was written on the back and sent it to me, and took a picture of the inside, and the front seat was pulled all the way up, and it was torn. And, you know, just those things combined made me think, oh, something's not right here. And so she had asked me, should I contact the authorities? And I said, yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so he hadn't even been reported missing yet. The vehicle's driver's seat was pushed all the way forward and torn at the seam. Unusual for Jamie's stature. The back seat was laid down, and parts of the engine had been dismantled. Jamie's keys, phone were missing. About 100 feet from the vehicle, search teams found Jamie's health insurance card, some loose change and receipts from his wallet scattered in the grass. Despite the suspicious circumstances, the vehicle was not processed for forensic evidence and was eventually repossessed.
The sheriff turned everything over to Boonville police because Jamie was from Boonville, and just because his car was found out of the city limits, he wanted the chief of Boonville to take care of Jamie's case.
Right.
So the car didn't get fully processed because the chief thought that Logan County had processed it completely, and Logan County thought that Boonville would complete the processing. So it didn't get processed, and it ended up getting towed back to Jamie's wife's house.
Several leads emerged. A jailhouse tip suggested Jamie had been taken into the woods and tied to a tree. A man initially claimed to have seen Jamie with another individual but later recanted. And Anna, during an interview, revealed she had Jamie's old iPhone, which was still connected to the cloud. Using this connection, they attempted to locate Jamie's newer iPhone 11, leading to a search that yielded no results.
We had some podcasters who had come down to do just something on Jamie's story, and while they were there, I had asked them to talk with Anna and get an interview from her. And while they were talking with her, they told her that they could still get at least the last phone location, and she agreed to that, and they were able to get into her computer and find that last phone location. And so they contacted the authorities and went out to the area where it was, and the chief did tell me that at the time that Jamie went missing, that area would have been underwater.
Despite multiple searches and investigations, Jamie's whereabouts remain unknown. His family continues to seek answers, holding on to hope and urging anyone with information to come forward.
There was a lady who had reached out to Anna, and so Daniel got her in touch with me, and her story was that she had gone out to the Persimmon Point to do some searching for arrowheads, and when they got there, she heard people talking and a motor running and stuff hitting the water. And she said she got a bad feeling, so she left, and then they came back the next morning, and she said it was odd because there was a circle area of some stuff that looked like maybe some clothing that had been burnt and some other things. And so she had some trash bags and was picking up stuff because it's a area that's very pretty, and she didn't like that there was this trash everywhere. And so she said she picked up a newspaper that was folded up and it had some weight to it. And so she opened it, and on the inside she said it was a nipple, like somebody had cut off a nipple and part of a finger. And she had found a few pieces of flesh before that, and she said that looks human because she had had some flesh cut off her leg in an accident and gone to get stitches and come back, and that flesh is still laying there. And she said it had turned kind of a grayish color.
Right.
And she said this looked just like that. And she said this was not animal, this looked human, and it was like chunks, like it was torn off chunks of flesh. And so she said she got physically ill, and she and her boyfriend went to go get her some stomach medicine, and she was going to report it to the police. And on her way in the pharmacy, she saw a police officer, and she told him what she had seen. And she said she just left everything there. She dropped the newspaper that had the stuff in it. And when she told the police officer, she expected that somebody would go out there and take a look. But she said, I never did hear anything back about that, so I don't know if they went out and looked. But apparently they never did, because there's no police reports of flesh being found anywhere.
Jamie Valdez was more than a missing person. He was a father, a husband, a friend, and a man who had worked hard to rebuild his life. His sudden disappearance has left a void in the lives of those who knew him. So if you have any information about the disappearance of Jamie Valdez, please contact the Boonville Police Department at 479-675-3508. I want to thank Jamie's sister, Sean, for speaking with us about her brother and his case. I'll be praying for her and hoping for a resolution. Thank you for listening to this episode of They Disappeared. For bonus content, you can visit our website, Facebook page, or our Patreon page, all of which are linked in the show notes. This episode was produced by Katie Hayes. To see and hear more of her work, please visit her website, katiehayes.com.